spreading compost once a year. This happens to be no dig, I'm putting it on top, but if you're digging, anybody, to replenish your soil and keep it fertile and healthy, spread some compost, and this is a really good time of year to do it. I've got beds here without wooden sides. I like that because it's they take up space and they harbour slugs, but how do you know where your side is? So actually I use my 2 foot 60 centimetre dibber because I'm careful to keep straight lines of existing plants. There's some chard, and 60 centimetres from that will give a line that's about right for a 45 centimetre path, because you've got a bit of space always between the vegetable and the pathway. And so then I can just join these up, and that gives me an edge line. I do pay attention to keeping my beds more or less straight and in the same place. It makes life a lot easier with planting, equidistant, same distance between plants and that kind of thing. And then spreading the compost, it's simply putting it on top. We do this once a year. This bed has had garlic followed by beetroot this year. Often these beds are double cropping, but we don't put any compost between the summer plantings. Just once a year before winter normally, but not always, timings. And this is homemade compost, and you can use a manure fork like this just to break it up a bit as you drop it on the bed. Adam filled this barrel yesterday and he broke it up quite a bit as well. This compost is not as old as it can be. It's about 7 months old. We made it in the summer, actually 6 months, May and June, and I'm putting it on how deep? Around an inch. It's a really hard thing to quantify because, how do you measure the depth of something lumpy? You can't really. I do it by eye and looking at, I want to see that the soil is more or less covered. And this bed is quite wide. It's a 1.5 metre, 5 foot wide bed, so it's going to take quite a bit. But I reckon 2 big wheelbarrows of this sort of size will do it. And that's then good for the year ahead. Whether you grow 1 crop or 2, we won't come back. And by the spring, the lumps in that compost will be well broken, because the frost, it's not only about feeding plants, it's about feeding soil life and protecting soil from weather over the winter. This is another way you could do it. So this was the load Adam dropped earlier, and usually you could just drop the whole lot and then pull it out with a rake.